Thousands of years ago, in this fertile land, the villagers of Nam Mao held a grand Buddhist festival. Amid the lively celebrations, an old beggar woman suddenly appeared. Her skin was covered in sores, and a foul odor emanated from her, causing everyone to recoil in disgust. Wherever she went, she received only cold stares and harsh words of rejection. Only a poor mother and her son felt compassion for her. Despite having very little themselves, they brought the old woman home, offered her a meal, and prepared a place for her to sleep. But in the middle of the night, the mother and son were awakened by thunderous rumbling sounds, as if the heavens and earth were collapsing. Terrified, they looked toward where the old woman had been lying. Instead of a frail old figure, they saw a gigantic dragon-like water creature. Its shining scales illuminated the room. Its head rested upon the roof beam, and its tail lashed against the ground. The next morning, before departing, the old woman warned them of a great flood that would soon engulf the entire village. She gave them a packet of ashes from the kitchen hearth and 2 rice husks, instructing them on how to save themselves. Sure enough, that very night, an enormous column of water erupted from the earth, swallowing homes, people, and livestock amid screams of terror. The entire valley was transformed into a vast sea of water, which became what is now known as Bobby Lake. People believe that the souls of those who perished unjustly still wander beneath these deep waters. But what if I told you that this great flood may actually have happened? And that scientists have discovered evidence supporting it? What if the dragon-like creature was not merely a product of imagination, but a metaphor for a terrifying natural force that truly existed? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are not simply retelling a folktale. We are standing at the very birthplace of the Bobby Lake legend in Bak Kan province to unravel its 7 greatest mysteries. Together, we will separate myth from the astonishing truths that science is gradually revealing. Watch until the end of the video. I am confident you will not be disappointed. Our first mystery, and the question that inspired this journey, is whether the legend of the old woman transforming into a dragon-like water creature could be based on reality. For Vietnamese people, the story of Bobby Lake is one of the most familiar folktales, teaching lessons about compassion and the principle that good deeds are rewarded. But for the Tay people, who have lived around the lake for generations, this story is far more than a moral lesson. It is history, faith, and an inseparable part of their culture. Let us examine the details. The Buddhist festival was held in Nam Mao Commune, a real location. The beggar woman represented a test of human kindness. She traveled throughout the village, but only the poor mother and son, despite their own hardship, were willing to share what little they had. Then comes the crucial detail, the transformation. Most versions of the story describe her becoming a Gao Long, a powerful aquatic dragon-like creature deeply rooted in ancient Vietnamese beliefs. Such beings were regarded as rulers of rivers and waters. This transformation signified that the old woman was no ordinary person but a messenger from the divine realm sent to administer justice. The next morning, she provided both a warning and a means of survival. The ashes were to be scattered around the house to form a protective circle, while the 2 rice husks, when cast upon the floodwaters, transformed into enormous dugout canoes. These enabled the mother and son to rescue other virtuous people. After the Great Flood, the ground of Nam Mao collapsed, creating 3 large water-filled basins. The Tay people called them Slam Pay, meaning 3 lakes. These 3 lakes later merged into the vast Bobby Lake we know today. Remarkably, amid the immense waters, a small island remained. Local people call it Po Gia Mai, or Widow's Island, and tradition says it was the very site of the kind mother and son's home. So, is the story true? If we are looking for an old woman who literally transformed into a giant serpent hundreds of meters long, the answer is probably no. But if we view the story as an encoded record of a real geological event, everything changes. Bobby Lake itself formed around 10,000 years ago. But when did humans first arrive here? Our third mystery takes us into the damp caves surrounding the lake, where evidence of human life dating back tens of thousands of years has been discovered. Recent archaeological surveys have uncovered numerous prehistoric artifacts within caves located in the core zone of Bobby National Park. including Tham Kit Cave, Tham Maya Cave, and especially Thamon Cave. At Tham Kit Cave, more than 54 artifacts were found, including primitive stone tools crafted from river pebbles. Based on manufacturing techniques, experts concluded that the site was inhabited by late Paleolithic humans nearly 20,000 years ago. 20,000 years ago, the last ice age still influenced the Earth. Amid these wild mountains and forests, prehistoric groups sought shelter in limestone caves around Bobby Lake. These caves served as ideal natural homes, protecting them from harsh weather and dangerous animals. Most importantly, they were located beside an abundant source of life, Bobby Lake itself. The lake provided fish, shrimp, and freshwater snails. The clearest evidence of their diet is the large number of snail shells found in these caves. At Thamon Cave, archaeologists discovered more than 700 artifacts, primarily stone tools such as axes, pointed digging implements, grinding stones, and polishing tools. These artifacts display characteristics of the Hoa Binh culture, confirming that the Ba Bi region was one of the cradles of ancient Vietnamese civilization. Even more remarkably, 4 ancient hearths were found at different depths within the cave. Fire was the center of prehistoric communal life. It provided warmth, cooked food, and gathered people together after a day of labor. Imagine the darkness of 20,000 years ago, illuminated by flickering flames inside a cave, revealing the faces of our ancestors. What stories were they telling one another? Could the earliest versions of the dragon legend and the Great Flood myth have begun around those fires as people attempted to explain the vast and mysterious lake before them? These archaeological discoveries reveal that long before villages, before the Tay and Kin peoples, generations of humans already lived here. The beauty of Ba Bi Lake that we admire today is the same beauty our ancestors witnessed 20,000 years ago. Ba Bi is not merely a natural heritage site. It is also a cultural heritage site and a vast historical museum. We have explored what lies above ground and within the distant past. Now it is time to dive beneath the clear waters and confront the fourth mystery. What truly lies at the bottom of Ba Bi Lake? With an average depth of 20 to 25 meters during the rainy season, dropping to around 10 meters in the dry season, and reaching a maximum depth of 35 meters, the lake's floor is an entirely different world. As we know, the lake formed within a karst geological system. Beneath the thick sediment layer lies a labyrinth of caves, sinkholes, and underground rivers. One of the clearest examples is Puong Cave, a spectacular cavern through which the Nong River flows beneath a limestone mountain for more than 300 meters. The existence of this cave demonstrates the immense power of water to carve giant passages through rock. So what lies hidden beneath a lake covering more than 650 hectares? This is where imagination takes flight and legends of lake monsters find fertile ground. For generations, local people have spoken of giant creatures living beneath the lake. Could the legendary dragon not have vanished after destroying the village, but instead chosen the depths of the lake as its dwelling place? Science, of course, does not search for dragons. Yet science acknowledges that much of the underwater world of Ba Bi remains unexplored. Surveying such a vast and deep lake requires advanced technology and enormous resources. Exploration efforts have mapped only a small portion of the lakebed. Most underwater fissures and cave entrances remain mysteries. This mystery deepens when locals occasionally witness unusual whirlpools or bubbling water appearing suddenly and then disappearing. These phenomena may simply result from underground currents. Yet for many, they are signs that something is moving beneath the lake. Fairy Pond, a small lake located not far from Ba Bi, provides another example of this mysterious underground connection. Despite having no visible inflowing streams, Fairy Pond remains full of water year-round because it is linked to Ba Bi Lake through subterranean waterways. The mystery of the world beneath Ba Bi Lake is an irresistible invitation. Those unexplored flooded caves may contain undiscovered species, or perhaps even submerged archaeological remains. Until the entire lakebed can be thoroughly investigated, Ba Bi Lake will remain a mysterious kingdom where science and legend coexist. Amid these geological mysteries and ancient legends lies another puzzle that unfolds every day and every hour. Why is the water of Ba Bi Lake so remarkably clear? Ba Bi Lake receives water from two rivers, Cho Leng and Nam Quang, both of which carry significant amounts of sediment. Under normal circumstances, one would expect the lake to become murky. Yet it does not. Instead, its waters retain their distinctive emerald green color. Both local residents and scientists refer to this phenomenon as the lake's extraordinary self-purification mechanism. This mechanism is the result of several factors working together. First, due to its vast size, the lake functions as a natural settling basin, allowing heavier sediment particles to gradually sink to the bottom. Second, the dense vegetation of Ba Bi National Park acts like a giant sponge, filtering much of the soil and debris before water reaches the lake. Finally, the lake's own aquatic ecosystem performs the most remarkable role. Ba Bi Lake is home to an incredibly rich ecosystem, with more than 100 recorded species of freshwater fish. Many of these species, together with aquatic plants and microorganisms, participate in the natural decomposition of organic matter and the purification of the water. The lake is not stagnant water. It is a living ecosystem that constantly circulates, adapts, and maintains its balance. Thanks to this natural process, Ba Bi possesses a level of biodiversity rarely found elsewhere. It has been recognized as an internationally important wetland and was among Vietnam's first 3 Ramsar sites. The area serves as a habitat for hundreds of rare plant and animal species, many of which are listed in the Red Books of Vietnam and the world. These include white-cheeked black langurs, rare plant species, and endemic fish such as the green catfish and giant carp. The crystal-clear water and extraordinary biodiversity combine to create a landscape that is both majestic and poetic. It is easy to understand why people believe this is no ordinary lake. Could it be that the dragon's ancient curse not only created the lake but also bestowed upon it an extraordinary vitality and a remarkable ability to protect itself? The mystery of Ba Bi's pristine waters reminds us that sometimes the greatest miracles are simply the perfect workings of nature itself. The sixth mystery: Widow's Island and the uninhabited islands. Across the vast jade-colored surface of the lake, small islands appear like finishing touches on a masterpiece. Among them, one island stands above all others because of its deep connection to the heart of the legend. This is Widow's Island, the sixth mystery in our journey. From almost anywhere on the lake, visitors can see this small, tree-covered island standing alone amid the waters. Known in the Tay language as Po Gia Mai, or Widow's Island, its very name directly links it to the legend of the lake's formation. According to tradition, this island was the home of the compassionate mother and son, the only place spared from the catastrophic flood. As one approaches, the island reveals itself as a mass of limestone blocks stacked upon one another, with ancient tree roots gripping tightly into the crevices. From a spiritual perspective, it is considered sacred ground, the sole physical remnant of the legendary story. Living on the island could be viewed as an intrusion upon holy land. From a practical perspective, the island is small and largely composed of rock, making it unsuitable for farming or permanent settlement. Besides Widow's Island, there is another notable island in the lake, Ma Island. Slightly larger in size, it is home to an ancient temple known as An Ma Temple. One legend claims that after the Great Flood, local people built the temple to honor protective deities and provide a resting place for the souls of those who had perished. Another historical theory suggests that it commemorates loyal generals of the Mac dynasty who chose death over surrender. Regardless of which explanation is correct, An Ma Island remains an important spiritual center for the entire lake region. The existence of these uninhabited islands, especially Widow's Island, adds tremendous weight to the legend. They transform the story from a simple folktale into something that appears tangible and believable. The islands serve as physical witnesses to the narrative, making the legend feel rooted in reality. Their mystery illustrates the remarkable fusion of natural scenery and cultural depth, transforming Ba Bi from a mere lake into a landscape rich with history and meaning. The seventh and final mystery: where myth meets science. Our final mystery is not a place or an artifact but an idea. It is the astonishing convergence between what legend tells us and what science has discovered. Let us place the two stories side by side. On one side, the ancient Tay legend speaks of a village in Nam Mao that was swallowed by a catastrophic flood, of a kind mother and son who survived on higher ground that later became an island, and of a supernatural dragon-like creature responsible for the disaster. On the other side, modern science confirms that around 10,000 years ago, a massive geological collapse truly occurred in this region. The collapse submerged a large limestone valley precisely where Bobby Lake exists today. Science also confirms that the islands scattered throughout the lake are the peaks of limestone formations that remained above water after the collapse. Most importantly, archaeology has demonstrated that humans were already living in this area as early as 20,000 years ago, meaning that people were present to witness the awe-inspiring and terrifying natural forces that shaped the landscape. The similarities are impossible to ignore. Although myth and science use entirely different languages, they appear to describe the same underlying event. This is where we encounter the concept of geomythology. Geomythology is the study of how myths may preserve memories of real geological events. According to this field, many ancient legends are not pure fantasy. Rather, they are humanity's earliest attempts to record, explain, and pass down knowledge of natural catastrophes. Applied to Bobby Lake, the theory becomes fascinating. A massive geological collapse accompanied by roaring sounds, trembling earth, and cracking ground may have been transformed in collective memory into the wrath of a colossal dragon. The dragon was not necessarily a literal creature. Instead, it served as a powerful symbol for the overwhelming and uncontrollable forces of nature. The story of the compassionate mother and son carries a similarly profound meaning. It is not merely a moral lesson. It also reflects humanity's enduring hope and a fundamental truth about survival. Only through mutual support and cooperation can people endure great disasters. The rice husks that transformed into boats symbolize human ingenuity and adaptability, the ability to survive and rebuild after catastrophe. Seen this way, the legend of Bobby Lake does not contradict science. Rather, the two complement one another. They are two sides of the same coin, two interpretations of the same profound reality. One speaks through symbols and faith. The other speaks through evidence and logic. Our journey comes to an end here. We began with a legend and arrived at a deeper understanding of the extraordinary relationship between humanity and nature, between the past and the present. Bobby Lake is far more than a beautiful emerald jewel hidden among the mountains. It is recognized as one of the world's most remarkable freshwater lakes. It is a witness to geological history, a homeland of prehistoric peoples, and the inspiration for one of the most fascinating legends in Vietnamese culture. Which mystery impressed you the most? Do you believe that the tale of the old woman transforming into a dragon preserves a coded memory of a real geological catastrophe? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The next time you have the chance to sit in a boat gliding across the calm waters of Bobby Lake and hear a boatman recount the legend of the dragon, perhaps you will listen with both scientific understanding and historical awareness. Perhaps you will hear the echoes of thousands of years of history whispering beneath those clear green waters. For ultimately, the beauty of Bobby Lake lies not only in its scenery, but also in the many layers of mystery it continues to embrace.